At the altar, my bride dropped a bombshell. Our baby wasn't mine. I forced a smile and thought, wealthy people do strange things, release doves that attack guests, serve endangered fish, hire celebrity lookalikes. But nothing could prepare me for the Brennan wedding. Spring ceremony, $150,000 budget, country club reception for 250 guests, the first red flag. The groom's best man was his uncle, mid-40s, sweating, glued to his phone. Sarah, the bride, looked stunning but terrified. Not typical nerves, more like someone being led to execution. During photos, she kept touching her stomach and whispering to her maid of honor. The ceremony begins. Everything seems normal until the vows. Sarah manages 3 words, "I take you," before vomiting all over the groom's tuxedo, her $8,000 dress, and the priest's shoes. Chaos erupts. Bridesmaids rush with tissues, groomsmen step back in horror. Yet Sarah isn't embarrassed. She's sobbing, guilty, shattered. "I'm sorry, Michael. I'm so sorry." Michael, covered in vomit, tries to comfort her. "It's okay, wedding nerves." "I'm pregnant," she admits. The church goes silent. You could hear her mother's pearls hit the floor. Michael freezes, but we had been waiting until marriage. Sarah glances at the uncle, just for a second, but everyone notices. "Tommy," Michael's voice cracks. The uncle, the best man, the man who taught Michael to drive, steps forward. "Mike, let me explain." Michael's fist connects with Tommy's jaw before he can finish. They tumble into the aisle, crushing bouquets while Tommy's wife screams, climbing onto his back. Groomsmen try to separate them, but she's relentless. Tommy yells, "I've been planting my seed," and collapses from a strike. Then Michael speaks, freezing everyone. "This isn't the first time, is it, Dad?" All eyes shift to Michael's father. His face is pale. "What do you mean?" he asks. "Mom's diary. I found it after she died. She wrote about Tommy, about what you did to her." Bloodied, Tommy laughs. "She wanted it, just like this one did." Sarah vomits again, this time on him. Michael's father rises. "You swore that ended 20 years ago." Michael's sister shouts, "20 years ago?" Realization hitting her face. The uncle's wife turns to her husband. "Is Jessica yours?" Tommy, grinning through blood, replies, "Why do you think I insisted on being best man? Keeping it in the family tradition." Chaos escalates. Michael's father lunges. They crash into the altar. Candles topple. The priest calls 911. The country club manager screams about fire hazards. Amid the chaos, I notice the maid of honor filming everything, smiling. She mouths phase 1 to me, then texts, "It worked." They all turned on each other. "Your turn." Michael grabs my arm as I prepare to leave. "You got all this on camera?" "Yes," I reply. "Good. I'm going to need it for court." He surveys the disaster. Uncle arrested, father questioned, Sarah sobbing. Then he points out the maid of honor, my ex Hannah, and also Tommy's daughter from a previous marriage. My blood runs cold. Sarah slept with her own maid of honor's father, and Hannah knew all along. He shows me a text from an hour before the ceremony. "Still want to go through with this? Last chance to back out." Michael's reply, "She deserves what's coming." I realize I didn't just photograph a wedding disaster. I documented a revenge plot. I'm sitting in my car outside the country club, hands shaking, reviewing the footage. Michael taps my window with such intensity I jump. He slides into the passenger seat, vomit-stained tuxedo reeking of champagne and betrayal. "I need every single frame," he says. "My lawyer will need it for multiple lawsuits." I show him the clip of Hannah filming with that calm, satisfied smile. His jaw tightens as he watches it 3 times, finger repeatedly pressing replay. The footage shows Hannah's serene expression while chaos unfolds around her, people screaming, fighting, collapsing. Michael flips through old messages on his phone, pausing at a thread from 3 years ago, right after Sarah came into his life. Hannah's messages start normal, then turn desperate, angry, and finally stop. 6 months ago, they resume, this time friendly and concerned, asking about wedding plans. Michael explains, Hannah isn't just an ex. She's been planning this destruction for 3 years. Ever since Sarah stole him at a company party, Hannah meticulously collected information, befriending Sarah, becoming her maid of honor, learning about Tommy's inappropriate behavior, Michael's mom's death, and hidden family dynamics. Every detail was noted, building a precise strategy. The manipulation goes deeper. Hannah knew about Sarah and Tommy for at least 2 months before the wedding. She actively encouraged it, creating private situations, pushing Sarah toward Tommy, and giving reassurance that it was acceptable. Michael shows me messages from Sarah's phone that confirm Hannah's orchestration. Her goal was never merely to hurt Sarah, it was to dismantle Michael's entire family, exposing every secret, ensuring collective suffering. The final message an hour before the ceremony: "Still want to go through with this? Last chance to back out." Michael's response: "She deserves what's coming." He admits he was aware something would happen. Hannah had proof of Sarah's affair and intended to reveal it publicly. He could have stopped it quietly, but he chose to let it unfold. Sarah would suffer in the open, as he had in private. Michael is no innocent victim. He is a co-conspirator. Detective Quentin Baird arrives at the country club to take statements. He's a seasoned officer in his 50s, with deep lines from years of observing crime. I walk him through what I witnessed, showing him the footage. His expression is neutral until Hannah appears on screen, smiling. Then he leans closer, tension rising. When I show him the Phase 1 text, his routine demeanor shifts to serious concern. He photographs my camera screen from multiple angles and instructs me to preserve all footage as evidence. No social media, no journalists, no discussions, even with friends. He warns, this is potentially a criminal conspiracy. He hands me his card, writing his direct line: "Call me if anyone pressures you about this footage. Anyone at all," he says. Baird then interviews Michael, who sits in my car, world collapsed around him. Through my windshield, I watch them converse for 30 minutes, Michael gesturing, the detective calmly taking notes. Around them, officers interview the rest of the wedding attendees. Sarah is loaded into an ambulance, still crying. Tommy is handcuffed. His wife screams. Michael's father talks quietly with another detective. The scene is pure chaos. I finally drive home around midnight, camera bag beside me like it contains a bomb. I can't stop thinking about Hannah's smile, Michael's confession, and the fact that I unknowingly documented a long-planned revenge plot. Cut to morning aftermath. Before I even reach home, my phone rings repeatedly, unknown numbers. By the time I pull into my driveway, 6 calls are missed. The next morning, 3 different lawyers contact me. The first represents Michael, offering $5,000 for exclusive footage access. The second, representing Tommy's wife, offers $8,000 for clips showing Tommy's behavior. The third, representing Sarah's family, offers $15,000 to destroy certain clips. Each demands exclusive access, payment ranging from reasonable to absurdly high. Hands shaking, I call my own lawyer, Patricia, whom I hired 3 years ago. Normally she handles contracts, but now her voice sharpens as I recount the events. She tells me not to speak to anyone until we meet and schedules an appointment that afternoon. Patricia reviews contracts and explains my legal obligations. The footage is mine, but as a witness to potential crimes, I cannot sell it indiscriminately. Police can subpoena it, courts can request it, but I cannot profit from it, nor can I destroy evidence. Accepting money now could make me appear to tamper with evidence, or worse, an accessory to crime. By taking this job, I've shifted from wedding photographer to key witness in potential criminal proceedings involving assault, conspiracy, and possibly sexual misconduct. Patricia drafts a standard response for me to all the lawyers, making it clear that no footage can be shared until law enforcement completes its investigation. She stresses that any attempts to circumvent this could make me legally liable. Over the next few days, I organize my files, creating secure backups of every clip. Each frame feels heavier than the last, not just images of chaos, but evidence of a carefully orchestrated plan of revenge spanning years. I watch moments over and over. Hannah's calm smile while the family fights, Sarah's shocked sobs, Tommy's aggression, Michael's deliberate involvement. Michael contacts me repeatedly, anxious, wanting copies for his lawyer. Patricia guides me carefully. He cannot receive footage outside legal channels, but she assures me the authorities will allow controlled access if needed for his civil cases. Detective Baird remains in touch. He requests formal submission of all original files as evidence. Each clip is cataloged and time-stamped. The investigation begins to clarify who orchestrated what: assaults, the public exposure of affairs, and the multi-layered revenge plot. Hannah's role is unmistakable. Her planning, manipulation, and encouragement of Sarah's affair with Tommy are all documented through messages, filmed behavior, and eyewitness accounts. Michael's complicity is equally clear. He knowingly let the events unfold to publicly humiliate Sarah while holding on to his own long-standing grievances. Over time, the authorities interview all involved. Sarah and Tommy are questioned, Michael's family is scrutinized, and Hannah becomes a focus for potential criminal charges. Each session confirms what I captured. This was not a spontaneous wedding disaster, but a coordinated scheme, meticulously designed to harm and expose multiple family members. Meanwhile, the lawyers continue their negotiations, but Patricia ensures nothing is handed over until the legal process permits. Every attempt to bribe or pressure me is deflected professionally. My role is clear: safeguard evidence, cooperate with law enforcement, and remain neutral, despite the dramatic personal connections. Reflecting back, I realize how different this wedding was from any other assignment. I went in expecting simple photographs of a ceremony. Instead, I documented betrayal, revenge, and long-hidden family secrets. Every shot, every message, every text became a piece of a larger puzzle. My camera captured not just a wedding, but a multi-year plan coming to a violent public conclusion. As I sit at my desk reviewing the footage once more, I understand the weight of responsibility. This is no longer about capturing memories. It's about truth, accountability, and justice. The images in my camera are evidence, a record of manipulation, deceit, and carefully plotted revenge. They will be used to protect victims, hold conspirators accountable, and ensure the story is told accurately, not sensationalized. And that's the reality behind the Brennan wedding, a seemingly perfect day that revealed the darkest truths hidden behind family ties, betrayal, and meticulously executed vengeance. I sent the letter to all three lawyers. It stated simply, "My footage is being preserved for law enforcement. I will not share it with private parties until the investigation is complete." Patricia charged $400 for the 2-hour consultation, most of what I was going to make from the wedding gone in one sitting for legal advice. The next day, Detective Baird returned with a warrant for my complete footage. Patricia reviewed it and confirmed it was proper procedure given the assaults and fire damage. I met Baird at my studio and transferred files to his encrypted drive. Almost an hour, given the volume. Ceremony prep, the ceremony, and the chaos afterward. He watched parts of it while files were copying, expression neutral, jaw clenching when Tommy bragged about planting his seed. During the transfer, Baird mentions Hannah has disappeared. She didn't go home after the wedding and wasn't answering her phone. Her father, Bernard, reported her missing that morning. He asks if I noticed where Hannah went after the ceremony. Reviewing my footage, I find her walking toward the parking lot while everyone else was distracted by police. She got into a car and drove away. I show Baird the clip. He asks for it immediately. The "your turn" text suddenly feels more ominous, hinting at other players in this conspiracy. Baird asks if Hannah mentioned anyone else during wedding prep. I explain she was often on her phone texting, but I never saw who. He notes this and tells me to call if I remember anything further. Over the next 3 days, tabloid journalists flood me with offers. $20,000 from a little-known website, $50,000 from a larger outlet, and $100,000 from a celebrity scandal tabloid. My struggling business makes the 6-figure offer tempting. Rent, equipment, legal fees piling up. But Patricia warns selling evidence in an active investigation could make me criminally liable. She cites a photographer elsewhere who was charged for selling crime scene footage. I disconnect my studio phone, communicate only through Patricia, and ignore unknown numbers and emails. A week after the wedding, Michael requests a private meeting through my lawyer. Against her advice, I agree, meeting at a quiet coffee shop with Patricia present. Michael appears disheveled, hollow-eyed. He explains he never suspected Hannah could orchestrate such a detailed revenge plan. He recounts her childhood neglect by Tommy and her manipulative behavior during their prior relationship, which he thought she had moved past through therapy. Michael reveals Hannah contacted him 2 months before the wedding, claiming to want closure and offering to help with planning. He now realizes every suggestion she made, public ceremony, large guest list, expensive country club reception, was designed to maximize public humiliation. Michael admits he suspected Sarah was cheating but had no proof. Hannah planted doubts without naming Tommy, feeding him concerns and pushing him to let the public exposure happen. I let it happen because I wanted revenge too, he admits. My stomach drops. He used me to document his plan without telling me the truth. I leave the coffee shop, sitting in my car for 20 minutes to process the admission. The next morning, Detective Baird calls. Hannah was found. She checked into a psychiatric facility, claiming suicidal thoughts following the wedding's traumatic events. Her lawyer portrays her as a victim, but Baird notes the timing of her admission paperwork suggests premeditation. Involuntary commitment prevents questioning, leaving her temporarily unavailable. He warns me to document any threats or intimidation attempts. 2 hours later, Patricia calls, angry. Sarah's mother, Valerie, sent a formal demand to destroy footage, claiming invasion of privacy and intentional emotional distress. Patricia explains that legally, I cannot destroy evidence and truth is a defense against defamation, though defending myself would be costly. She advises me to do nothing and let her handle all communication. Over the next 2 weeks, I live in anxiety, dealing only through Patricia. Everyone involved wants something: footage access, destruction, edits, testimony, or silence. My recordings represent objective truth, and that makes them dangerous. 14 days after the wedding, Tommy is arrested on assault and terroristic threat charges. Bail is set at $50,000. His wife refuses to post it. Sapphire's divorce lawyer requests specific footage showing Tommy's admissions about affairs and his aggressive behavior. My lawyer coordinates the release through proper channels. Watching the footage distributed to multiple parties feels like fueling a war where everyone is firing at each other. 3 days later, Amy Lancaster, Michael's sister, contacts me, seeking someone neutral to discuss the wedding. Patricia advises caution, but I agree to meet. Amy reveals that she unknowingly provided Hannah with information from her mother's diary, which Hannah exploited to plan the revenge. She watches the footage of Hannah filming the chaos and breaks down, realizing she was used as a tool. I comfort her, feeling the weight of witnessing and documenting the conspiracy. The next morning, Detective Baird calls for another interview. He asks detailed questions about Hannah's movements and interactions, noting she prepared Sarah's calming tea just before the ceremony, timed to coincide with the vomiting incident. Baird explains this may constitute intentional poisoning, though Sarah refuses toxicology testing, making prosecution difficult. He instructs me to document everything from the morning of the wedding. Over the next week, subpoenas arrive for catering records and staff interviews. Bridesmaids confirm Hannah's insistence on Sarah drinking the tea alone. I provide Baird with footage showing Hannah alone near the teacup. Meanwhile, Sarah's lawyer claims she was merely stressed and pregnant, denying wrongdoing. Baird continues gathering circumstantial evidence. 3 weeks after the wedding, Sarah's lawyer sends a cease and desist demanding I not distribute footage showing her humiliation. Patricia advises that truth and compliance with law enforcement protect me, and we respond accordingly. Amy posts diary excerpts revealing Douglas, Michael's father, was aware of Tommy's abusive behavior, contradicting his public statements. Social media explodes with local accounts, amplifying the family scandal. Baird confirms Tommy is negotiating a plea deal to testify against Hannah, revealing their pre-wedding coordination. Call logs confirm Hannah and Tommy's regular contact leading up to the wedding, suggesting a broader conspiracy. Subpoenas, depositions, and multiple legal proceedings now dominate my life, while my photography business suffers. Sapphire's divorce deposition confirms Tommy's bragging and lack of remorse. My camera captured it all, nothing edited, nothing fabricated. I witnessed the complex web of deceit unravel, knowing my role as the documentarian has become central to multiple legal battles, exposing manipulation, assault, and long-hidden family secrets of probation, mandatory therapy, and community service. Her testimony becomes pivotal in the upcoming criminal cases against Tommy and Michael. The prosecutor emphasizes that my footage, combined with Hannah's admission, creates a clear timeline of premeditation and coordinated action, evidence that will be difficult for either defendant to refute. The following weeks are a blur. I continue to provide copies of footage to the prosecutor and attend depositions when required, while managing my photography business as best I can. Every interaction is mediated through my lawyer, and I rarely leave the studio without feeling the weight of potential subpoenas or media intrusion. Tommy's criminal trial begins first. My footage is shown in court with time-stamped clips highlighting both his aggressive behavior and prior admissions about affairs and manipulation. Witnesses corroborate details I captured, and the combination of testimony and video evidence paints a damning picture. Douglas is called to testify about his knowledge and inaction, further eroding the family's reputation.